Thank you so much. We'll now move on to Lord Greaves, Lord Tony Greaves, who we warmly welcome. And Lord Greaves is a Liberal Democrat member of the House of Lords. As you know, in Limbo is an apolitical group, but many politicians and members of the European Parliament and members of the House of Lords have supported the In Limbo project over the past 3.5 years. And Lord Greaves has in particular always been very close to In Limbo. So we're enormously grateful to you for your presence here tonight. Over to you, Lord Greaves.
Thank you very much. I'll try and be very brief because I'm the least important person here really today. And what I want to hear particularly are the testimonies later on. I got my copy of In Limbo by surprise. It appeared through the post. And then my wife and daughter were arguing with each other as to which one had sent it. But I spent the August recess, I had it by my bedside and I read a bit of it every night for about a fortnight. I can't say that it improved my sleep having read it and so on. It probably made me more angry and more, wow, tremendous admiration really for the people who took the trouble to write down the difficulties that they've been through and the problems that they've been having. Because as somebody said, if you don't write things down, they're lost forever. And okay, we have modern means of communication now, but I still believe in books. Yes, I'm a member of the House of Lords, which is a very strange institution, and even stranger now that we're having to operate in a hybrid way, half virtually, because of COVID. But the House of Lords, although it can't, unfortunately, in the case of, for example, the immigration bill, which we're in the last stages of now, we can't lay the law down to the government. The House of Commons will have its way in the end. Nevertheless, what we can do is to take apart legislation, make sure that it's dealt with line by line almost, word by word, and that the arguments are placed on record and the government have to explain why it is that they're not accepting them. We can do this to a degree. We passed 7 amendments on the immigration bill with support across the House. It's, I think, going to be discussed by the Commons on Monday, and this strange process called ping pong, where bills go backwards and forwards between the two houses, will take place until an agreed text emerges at the end. And I think we're going to get it on Wednesday. So, and it's a difficult situation at the moment because we have a new government, and new governments are always more aggressive about what they can get through. They think they know everything. And at the same time, this particular government, regardless of politics, is not very organized, should we say, in the way in which it's doing things. And getting it to agree to negotiate with the peers and to get compromises and perhaps, you know, just do common sense things, like the most obvious thing of all is the need for a physical document for people with settled status. That's an easy thing for them to accept and to agree, but at the moment they're just digging in on everything. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope that if the Commons reverse it on Monday, then it comes to the Lords, we can reverse it and send it back again. But there's a limit to how many times the Lords will be prepared to do that. But it ought to keep on doing it on 1 or 2 of these issues, I think, because they are so sensible and so important. And we can also raise issues and hold debates and ask questions. And I've got questions down at the moment about people with pre-settled status, which I think is a huge disaster waiting to happen. If we're going to have a second Windrush at all, that's where it's going to start and where it's going to be most difficult, because people are simply going to forget and get lost in the system. Other obvious things is the dreaded comprehensive sickness insurance. I mean, this is just a silly issue. And again, the government could sort it out very quickly, and they're just digging in. The whole new generation of European citizens who are going to come to live in this country after next June, of which there will be a whole new generation, and the fact that their status is going to be quite different from the status of people with settled status and pre-settled status. That's going to lead to a huge amount of confusion and difficulty, and it's going to go on and on. So what I say is, what a wonderful job that in Limbo and 3 Million and the other groups have been doing, partly as simply mutual support and keeping people going and allowing this discussion, but most of all, from my point of view, telling us what the position is, telling us what's happening, so that those of us who can't spend all our time on this issue, because there's everything else, have got a means of picking up testimonies, picking up issues as they occur, and taking them to Parliament. So thank you very much indeed to all of you.
Thank you very much indeed, Lord Greaves, and it's great to hear that so much attention is paid to all the details, and that these things are being written down and being recorded, because whatever way it goes, at least, you know, we feel that you're there for us and trying to fight on our behalf. So thank you very much indeed.